What's going on, you guys? Agent this Kool here, and I am bringing you guys another commentary, and this time we're going to be talking about how to knife. Now, for the people who have been on my channel for a while, you guys know that I do a lot of knifing montages, and recently I've been doing wrenching montages. Now, overall, many of you guys really like my melee montages, basically. Like, you guys give me a lot of positive feedback on it, you guys compliment me on what I do. And I think you guys would want to know how I do it so easily. And to be honest, it's not that hard. All you guys need is a lot of patience, because you are going to die probably like 20 to 30 times per game. But if you're lucky enough, sometimes you end up dying only like 10, 15 times, but you are going to get double-digit deaths. I can guarantee you that. It's really rare that you don't get any double-digit deaths, because you're running straight towards the guy, and you're gonna end up dying most of the time. So with that being said, the first thing you guys need is patience. If you have patience, there's a good chance you guys will be able to knife very easily. If you guys don't have patience, just forget about knifing, because you're never going to be a successful meleeer if you're not going to have any patience. Like, I'll be the first to admit, I have a lot of patience, but sometimes if there's a lot of tryhards, I will take out a gun and start killing all of them. Using a gun is extremely easy for me, and by easy I mean like I could get 50 or 60 kills per game for like 5 games in a row, because it is really that easy for me. I don't know why, and I don't know how, but I'm just like really good with a gun if I start meleeing a lot for like a long period of time and switch to a gun. But the opposite happens if I go back to a wrench. That's why I don't really use a gun anymore, because if I use a gun, I'm guaranteeing myself possibly 40 deaths if I go back to any melee weapon whatsoever. So that's why I try to stick with a melee weapon as much as possible, because that will reduce the chances of me getting 40 plus deaths a game. I guess this is an unspoken rule, but my rule is if you're going to knife, do it the majority of the time, like 95% of the time you should be using a melee weapon, because if you just use a half the time of that and half the time of a gun, you're possibly going to get way less kills if you're using a knife or a wrench or whatever melee weapon you're using. I mean, that's speaking from experience. If you guys can handle 50-50 using a melee weapon and then using a gun, go for it. That's you guys. But if you guys are like me and you need to knife like constantly or use a melee weapon constantly, then stick to melee weapons, because you're gonna fuck up, you're gonna mess up completely, and you're just gonna screw yourself over at the end. The third rule of knifing is if someone is far away, slide. Please slide. Sliding is like the best thing in Black Ops 3, even though it's like OP, I guess you could say. It's pretty OP sliding, because you slide like about 20 or 30 yards to the guy. But when you are using a melee weapon, sliding is your best friend. When you slide, you have a better chance at killing the guy, and they'll probably like slide long enough, sometimes they'll think I'm dead, and then I get back up, and then I end up killing them. So far the 3 rules of knifing are patient, using it majority of the time, and sliding when someone is far away from you. The 4th rule of knifing is that you need to have 2 combat axes when you have a melee weapon, and that is because if someone is really far away from you and you have no chance of getting to him, you need a throwing knife, so at least you have some range in your class. Obviously, you have to be good with a combat axe, but if someone is standing still, you better hit his ass, otherwise you're going to end up dying. So just be good with a combat axe, or somewhat good with a combat axe, and you'll be perfectly fine using a melee weapon. Now on to the 5th rule. This is more like a class setup, but for the perks, what you should have is Ghost, Sixth Sense, Hardwired, and Blast Suppressor. When you have Ghost, as long as you're moving, you're unseen on the radar. When you have Sixth Sense, if you're inside a building, is the best thing to have, because then you know someone's inside the building with you and you can hunt him down and end up killing him. When you have Hardwired, obviously when you're running, you're gonna have some trip mines somewhere in the map. So if you have Hardwired, the trip mines won't go off, and you'll still end up killing like a sniper or someone that's camping. And Blast Suppressor, because obviously you're gonna be sliding a lot, you're gonna be jumping on walls a lot. So having Blast Suppressor is going to be a big advantage for you when you're knifing people. And the 6th rule is optional, but what you should have is the Spectre class using the Ripper. because it is a knife itself and is way faster than any other melee weapon that you can use. If you guys have seen in many of my videos, I kill about 3 to 4 people using the Ripper alone. So that's enough evidence that the Ripper is a pretty OP specialist once you're using a knife. So what have we learned today is that the 6 rules of knifing, the 6 being optional, is 1. Having patience, 2. Using the knife majority of the time, about 90% of the time, 3. Sliding if someone is far away from you, 4. Having combat axes on you just in case someone is really far away and you know you're not going to get to them, 5 is being the perks, which is Ghost, Sixth Sense, Hardwired, and Blast Suppressor, and the 6th rule is optional, using the Spectre class and having the Ripper as your specialist weapon. So if you guys follow these steps, you guys will be able to knife much easier, and you will be able to have a better time trying to knife someone than you would if you had anything else that I didn't recommend for you guys. And you guys could take my word for it, considering that I have already 5 montages proving that what I use actually works. So guys, take my word for it, use this type of setup and follow these steps, and I can guarantee you guys will knife about 20 or 30 people per game, and maybe one time you'll be able to knife 60 or 70 people a game. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit a like, and if you guys haven't already, please subscribe as well. It really helps out a lot. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and see you guys all next time.